Welcome to the video today. We'll be looking at this United States special election in Alabama against Republican Roy Moore and Democratic candidate Doug Jones. Republican candidate Roy Moore has recently been accused of sexual assault by a number of women when they were younger, but I do not care if you choose to believe that or not. I'm going to be taking a look at what it means for the results tomorrow. So let's start with the polling. The polling, ever since the allegations first came out, put Doug Jones ahead by a very, very small margin, but now the race has shifted back towards Republican Roy Moore fairly substantially and consistently. So let's look at the other polls on the Wikipedia. And the polls on the Wikipedia tell a slightly more complicated story, with a few polls being for Doug Jones and tied, but most of them still being for Republican Roy Moore. So it's clear, based on the polling, Republican Roy Moore is a frontrunner. So let's dig into the methodology of each poll. So what I recommend you guys do is take a look at this FiveThirtyEight article that discusses the methodology of the different polls, because most of the polls with Roy Moore ahead also happen to be automated polls, while the polls with Doug Jones ahead tend to be the ones that are done in person, over the phone, and that has several implications that you can read about in this article. Alright, so let's look at the historical context and what that means. So, in 2008, Jeff Sessions was reelected with 63.36% of the vote against Democrat Vivian Davis Figures. And in 2016, Richard Shelby was reelected with almost 64% of the vote. So as you can see, Alabama is very sharply red. So what does this mean? What is Doug Jones' path to victory, if he has any? So Alabama is a very, very red state. Is also highly polarized, with roughly half the electorate being evangelicals, who overwhelmingly vote Republican, and roughly 25 to 30% of being black voters who overwhelmingly vote Democratic. So there's not much room for swing voters in Alabama. So Doug Jones' path to victory will have to knock off a lot of those evangelical support, along with high black turnout. And he'll also have to be highly bipartisan and get a lot of discontented Republicans to vote for him. And another part people don't keep in mind is that Alabama, before 2010, before the biggest Republican wave, was in control of Democrats, at least at the state level. Both the state legislature and the state version of the House and the state Senate were controlled by Democrats up until 2010. And that's something a lot of people don't mention. Yes, those were conservative Democrats, but up until recently, the voters of Alabama did elect Democrats to the state pretty reliably. And so it's only been 7 years since then. So although it's becoming highly polarized in today's political environment, some of these voters may be able to switch back, even just temporarily, to vote for Doug Jones. And yeah. So now that we've looked at all that, I rate this based on all the information I understand, from how I understand it. I'd still favor the race towards Roy Moore by probably around a 55% to 45% margin, but there's still plenty of room for Doug Jones to win, although it is an uphill battle for him. I do firmly believe that, if I had to make a call today, I do believe that Roy Moore would win. And so I plan on making more of these videos in the future, and I know this one's pretty late considering the election's tomorrow, but hopefully I'll be out with more videos soon, and thank you for watching. Take care.